Welcome back to Heal, Survive, and Thrive. Hey, you guys, my name is Stephanie Lynn. If you're new here, and if you are new, welcome, welcome. And if you have been following me for a while, then thanks for joining me for another one. This is where we're going to have a real conversation. We're going to have a raw conversation about healing, emotional strength, getting over someone, narcissistic abuse, reclaiming your life after a really toxic relationship. Today, we are going to talk about, I know so many of you have experienced the moment where you really see their true colors and they start to kind of show. And you're thinking to yourself, I cannot believe this person is doing this. You are so dumbfounded by the person that you're seeing now. You don't even recognize this person. If you have ever felt like someone in your life, maybe a romantic partner, friendship, was one person at the beginning of the relationship, but completely different later on, this episode is for you. We're going to break down how narcissists create this false persona that really hook you in, because they all do. The subtle signs that the mask is kind of starting to slip and you're starting to see these true colors, because I do think even in the beginning, we don't really see that the mask is slipping. We start to see some things, but we're still confused a little bit. And so the little red flags are happening, but we're not fully acknowledging them yet. What happens when they really start to lose control? Because every person who is toxic or narcissistic will lose control at some point, and how to protect yourself once you see the truth. And if you're in the thick of it right now, if you're really struggling to break free or make sense of what's happening, stay with me until the end, because I'll give you some powerful strategies to really start detaching and rebuilding your life, because that's what we all want if we're really knee deep in pain. So let's start from the beginning. When you first meet a narcissist, everything feels good. It almost feels too good to be true, to be honest with you, because it is. And we don't see it in the beginning. They study you. They mirror you. They give you exactly what you want in a partner or a friend, because they have done that work. And if you love deep conversations, they'll suddenly become so introspective, so, I don't want to say emotionally connected to you, because they can't be, but it is a very good character that they are playing. If you love ambition, they'll talk about their big dreams and all the things they're working on and where their life is going to go. That's why it seems too good to be true, because this person all of a sudden starts emulating everything that you've ever wanted. And of course, this stage is called love bombing. It's when they overwhelm you with the attention, the affection, and the promises to make you feel like you've met your soulmate. I remember working with a client who met a guy that seemed like her absolute dream. I mean, she said she was so obsessed in the beginning because she could not believe she finally met this person. And this was the person that she always, always wanted. He planned romantic getaways. He sent her really long, emails and texts every morning, and really told her after, honestly, a couple weeks that she was the one. I've never met anyone like you before. It was just all of that Cinderella stuff, basically. But here's the thing, and this is what she didn't realize, and honestly, I didn't realize it either, and you guys probably didn't as well, is real love takes time. I did not realize that. When someone is rushing you into deep intimacy, emotional intimacy, it's not real, it's a strategy. It's a strategy that they're doing, or that they're using on you, because eventually reality really sets in, and that's when the mask starts slipping. So how do you know when a narcissist's true colors really is starting to come out? So there's a few different things, because at first, the changes that are going to start happening with this person are going to be very, very subtle. You might notice little things, little inconsistencies, maybe in their story. Things just don't really kind of add up, or they start becoming a different person than the way they were in the very beginning. They start breaking promises. First, they're very small ones, and then they'll start to be really big ones. And then, of course, when they break them, they'll make you feel bad for you getting upset that they've been broken. They'll make you feel guilty. They will react badly to small things. So they might get defensive. They might get really angry. They might suddenly start to become very distant. Maybe they want to go out all the time now. And then one day you experience something completely different. Maybe for the first time they insult you. They said something so incredibly hurtful. And you think, whoa, did that just really happen? Like, did that person just actually say that to me? And if you're not careful, this could turn into, of course, World War III, but you're starting to see the mask slipping. You start to see the real character of who this person is. Maybe they suddenly give you the silent treatment. Never did before. And all of a sudden, when they don't get their way or when you say something they don't like, they just completely shut down. Or maybe they gaslight you and they make you start questioning yourself. This is what I was saying earlier, when maybe they break a promise and you get upset and then they make you feel bad for it. So maybe it's guilt. This is the beginning of the unraveling. And here's what's important that you have to remember. You are not imagining anything. This is really happening. This person is changing. And I think no matter how many times you say that to a person, it's very hard for that person to fully grasp that when you're knee deep in the relationship, especially if you're very, very invested in the relationship, long-term relationship or marriage, kids, own a home together, all of those things, because you've built something now and you don't want to just walk away, but it's hard for you to really see the cognitive dissonance that's going on here, because when their mask slips, it's not a bad day or a stressful moment that they're having. It's their real self coming through because they can't keep up the act forever. And if you're dealing with a true narcissist, then if you start noticing that they are no longer the same person and you start to acknowledge things, hold them accountable, whatever, you eventually are going to be discarded. And if you're not, or maybe they don't discard you, but you will receive a lot of backlash, very, very horrible treatment. Have you ever, I had a client that came to me and had said, this is what's happening, very similar to all the examples that I gave. And she thought she was honestly going crazy because she couldn't even recognize this person and who they were. And it became something that she became obsessed with trying to figure out. And of course, as my dog Annie is barking in the other room because the mailman is here, if you guys can hear that. And of course, she really questioned herself, and it made her try even harder in the relationship. She really tried to be nicer, not nag, not ask for too much, because she thought it was something that she was doing that was causing this mask to really start to come off. Now, I know that if you're listening to this, chances are you've been through a painful breakup, or you're in the process of trying to detach from someone who has deeply hurt you, and I know how hard that is. That's exactly why I created my breakup recovery course, to help you rebuild your confidence to really be able to either stand up to this person or move on with your life. You need to let go of that emotional stuff, all the baggage, and most importantly, you need to break the cycle so you never end up in a toxic relationship ever again. In this course, I walk through everything that I did personally that helped me, but also the things that I know need to happen that most people overlook. How to emotionally detach from someone who's narcissistic or even just a toxic person, how to reprogram your own self, your thoughts, everything, build confidence, build that inner self through self-parenting, because not having that foundation within yourself is what is keeping you stuck. The exact steps to rebuild your confidence and self-worth are the only things that are needed for you to heal and move on with your life. And right now I am offering 50% off, which I'm so excited, but it is a limited offer, so take advantage of it. You can use the code SPRING at checkout down below. So if you're ready to start your healing journey, head down, links below. My website is there as well. Take advantage of this offer before it's gone. Now, let's talk about what happens when you start seeing their true colors and they know you see it. So we know a couple things are going to happen here. things are most often going to get a little nasty. And this is when things are going to go from, okay, I was just like dealing with all of this behavior and now it's getting kind of ugly and straight up nasty. A narcissist will do one of three things when they feel like they're losing control over you. The first thing is they're going to guilt trip you because this is the easiest thing that they can do. It doesn't require too much, and they want to see if you'll take the bait, quite frankly. So they will guilt trip you. After everything I've done for you, after everything I just did, this is how you treat me. Like, these are the kind of things that start to happen. Number two, they're going to create smear campaigns. So suddenly they're playing the victim. They're telling others that you're the toxic one. They're just trying to get sympathy from someone else. They might even incorporate the guilt tripping and the smear campaign into one in order to even hurt you further or to see how guilty you feel for them to, for basically for you to try harder or for them to have more control over you. Number three, love bombing. They might love bomb you again just to kind of like keep the peace. Not every person is going to completely discard you and jump into another relationship. So if they don't, then the cycle will be the love bombing cycle, where it's, I'm going to love bomb you, then I'm going to hook you, then I'm going to abuse you, then you're going to know that I'm abusing you, and then I'm going to go through that cycle all over again. So they'll flip back into the sweet, the charming version of themselves that you want from them just to keep you hooked. That's really the point of all of this. So if you've seen the mask slip, if you realize that the person you thought you knew was never real, which is a hard thing in and of itself, what do you even do now? I mean, how do we, where do you even kind of start? And I know that that's a question that most people ask. Here's what I want you to focus on. Number one, I want you to practice detaching emotionally. Everyone's at different points. Some people are still in relationships. Some people are not in relationships. Some people, they've been divorced or broken up for a while now, but you could still be emotionally attached to someone, no matter if they're sitting right next to you or you haven't seen them in 2 years. So if they are in your life, you need to absolutely stop engaging in the games that you know they're playing. The less that you react, the less power they have over you. Number two, I know this is hard, and I know sometimes in certain situations it's impossible. My situation, it was impossible. You have to go no contact, or as limited as you can possibly be. Now here comes the addiction, because you'll want to fight back. You'll want to tell your story. You'll want to get validation, all of those things. So the limited no contact is everything has to be kept strictly business. If you can't do that, maybe because of kids, then we're going low contact. Number three, you have to start rebuilding yourself. When you've been in a relationship like this, you lose a lot of pieces of yourself. So it's time to really take those pieces back. I want you to ask yourself, what's one small thing that you can start doing today to really take your power back? What is one thing that is missing from your life? Maybe it's blocking them. Maybe it's getting a new job. Maybe it's starting therapy. Maybe it's investing in a course. Maybe it's actually not making excuses anymore and starting to go for that walk every single day. You absolutely deserve better. And I know that you believe this deep down, but you have to do the work. You have to do the work. And rebuilding yourself is not something that you can just snap your fingers and tomorrow you feel like a solid sense of self within you and your life looks great and you're excited for the future. That's something that you absolutely have to cultivate for yourself. But no one can make you do that all on your own. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you feel might need to hear it. And if you're ready to start truly healing and working on yourself, I encourage you to start the Breakup Recovery course. And links are down below. Remember, it's 50% off and the code is SPRING at checkout. You can find everything below. Thank you for being here, for choosing to take time for yourself and invest in yourself in this way, and for taking these steps towards rebuilding and moving on from this relationship. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Enjoy your week.